Setting up a short-term rental for the first time can be a daunting task.
From selecting furniture to hanging artwork, every little detail matters when creating an inviting space for your guests.
But fear not, because we've been there and done that.
And learned a lot along the way.
Wow, I'm learning so much.
What's up, guys? I'm Steven.
And I'm Kylie, and with dozens of short-term rental property setups under our belt, we've created a sort of setup toolbox.
This is a collection of tools and supplies that we always keep on hand to make the setup process easier and more efficient.
So if you're brand new to the short-term rental space or a seasoned host, we're excited to share our favorite tools with you today.
I tend to get into more of the more involved kind of handyman type projects during the setup.
And I'm more focused on the details, so the design, the organization, all the little stuff. So between the two of us, you should have a pretty good list by the end of this video.
Let's get started.
You can go first.
All right, so my first go-to are power tools. And you know, there's a million choices when it comes to power tools, and a lot of people have opinions, but I've settled on the RYOBI line because I think they have a huge selection of tools, and I especially like the HP line, which are brushless motors in the tool, get a little more power. Like that.
Never felt so alive!
I have a lot of corded tools, and about 2 years ago, took on a big renovation project of our primary residence, and I decided it would be better, to have cordless tools at that time. The RYOBI ecosystem of like 200 tools that they have that all use the same battery was hard to ignore. I found their prices to be pretty reasonable, their warranty support is good, and again, you can get pretty much any tool you can think of, they make it with the same battery.
So he has a couple different batteries, and he'll always leave like 2 of them on the charger. He's never stuck with a dead tool. He can just go grab one and switch it around.
Interchange. I think they're good tools for the price. This drill is my go-to. It's a 1/2-inch drill, has plenty of torque for driving fasteners. Also has a hammer function, which is great for putting fasteners in stucco, or drilling holes to put anchors in stucco, which we have a lot of in Southern California.
So I have my own tool set, just a basic tool set, and I actually just keep it in my car. But I don't really pick out of that too much when we're doing setups, mostly because Steven's got his big tool set there, so I tend to usually just grab things from there and never put them back in the right place.
First rule of using tools is you put it back where you found it when you're done with it. And
Sorry.
Kylie's not very good at it.
Stop going through my stuff.
My first pick is my electric screwdriver. I actually bought this for Steven a couple years ago, and I think maybe he's used it once, maybe he's never used it.
I used it, but
it's basically become mine. So when we're putting furniture together, he prefers to just use a drill, but for furniture assembly, I like to use this little guy. It's a lot faster than cranking a regular screwdriver. I also have some wrist issues, so sometimes that can be a problem. When you're doing a whole house of furniture assembly, it's a lot. So a lot of times we're switching out cabinet knobs in kitchens, so that's again a lot of time saved by using the electric screwdriver. And if we're doing furniture assembly, sometimes we'll switch this out for an Allen wrench adapter. This thing is small and compact, rechargeable battery, and works really well.
So next tool is, I have this kind of multi screwdriver. It's a 9-in-1 from MILWAUKEE. I mainly sought it out because it has this ECX bit, which I think is a proprietary MILWAUKEE thing, but it's a combination of square drive and slotted, and the square drive you see a lot in electrical outlets, breakers, switches, and you combine that with the slot, you can fit it into ECX fasteners very quickly and apply a ton of torque to it, which is important with electrical work. As a bonus, it sort of has all these other 8 bits. Most like about it is you can't really lose the bits, or you're incentivized not to lose the bits, because you use one bit to push the other one out when you're switching them. So it's really handy. I like it a lot. The go-to tool.
Next up for me are 2 items that make hanging quick and painless. The first one is a monkey hook. You might have seen these before. I didn't find them until one of our clients had used them at his house and thought they were pretty genius. So basically it eliminates the need for using a wall anchor. Even for some heavier stuff, we've even hung mirrors. They have different weighted options for these. So these are great and super easy to use and install. I also buy these canvas hangers. I wasn't able to get any at the store today. They were sold out, and I also didn't have any left in my toolkit, so I can't show you, but we will link one on screen here. And we're also going to link all of these products in the description below if you want to add them to your own toolkit. The canvas hangers are super easy to use. I've hung a big wall art piece in like 3 minutes all by myself. All you need is one on the top 2 corners and then a level, unless you want to live on the edge and not use a level, but I would use a level.
It's straight.
It's straight?
Similarly, my next pick is also for hanging. Kylie does most of the hanging with like smaller stuff, artwork and things, where those monkey hooks or the canvas hangers do great. If you need something with a little more holding power, I've found these They're called togglers by Snap Screw. They're easy to install. Don't have to make a mess with like drilling out big holes for toggle bolts or anything like that. And they hold a lot of weight. Things like a toilet paper holder that it's gonna get used a lot. You need that holding power. These are great for if you do find a toilet paper holder that's already like wiggly and loose. It might not work if there's already like a big worked out hole there. That is a case where a toggle bolt might be better, but these are always in my toolbox.
My next pick is something that you never think about needing until you actually need it, and that is Goo Gone. Pretty simple, I know, but again, it's something that we forget about sometimes too. When we're setting up a short-term rental property, we're removing a lot of price tags, stickers, and those can be a pain to get off. So it's always good to have some Goo Gone on hand and just make the job a little bit easier and cleaner.
It won't come off.
All right, so my next pick is my Stud Buddy. Stud Buddy is a tool that finds studs in walls. I've used electronic stud finders in the past, and you just can't beat the simplicity of this.
Our 5-year-old, now he's 6, but when he was 5, he was using this to find studs in the wall.
He's the stud finder on duty when we're hanging stuff. But it is that simple. You just pass it along on a wall. All drywall homes have metal fasteners, either screws or nails, and the magnet is attracted to them. So you pass it along the wall, feel resistance when it is over a fastener. You know that there's a fastener under there, and then usually run it up and down the wall, a couple, 10, 15 inches, find the next one, and then you know it's a vertical stud versus a piece of blocking or something that's in there. So this is indispensable, always in my toolbox, a Stud Buddy.
Another one that tends to go missing because our son likes to play with it.
I find it magneted onto a wall when we're kind of doing the rounds of packing up during setup. Haven't lost it yet, but he definitely doesn't put things back like Mom
Got
does.
it from his mama.
Yeah.
Genetic thingy I got from my mom.
Next for me is my battery case. We each have one of these and we use them during setups, but we also keep them in our cars because whenever we're at properties doing inspections, want to make sure you have batteries on hand for remotes, garage door, keypads, all that stuff. So it lets you be super organized, slots for all the different sizes. We basically just use the AA, AAA, and the 9-volt for the garage keypads, but we do have some of these specialty batteries that we keep in the zippered pocket as well.
Point cell batteries sometimes used for remotes, sometimes for like MyQ garage door sensors, so we keep a few of those around. My next pick is these KNIPEX COBRA jaw plier wrenches. These are awesome. I first found them when we were living in Germany. They're made in Germany, good German quality tool, and they just can't be beat. They're compared to like a channel lock pliers that a lot of people are familiar with. These have 25 points of adjustability, and it's super simple. You just depress this little spring and you can open them, close them to any size fastener or thing you're trying to grab onto. They're indispensable.
They give you super strength.
They do. There's KNIPEX's video is a guy standing on these on a piece of pipe, and it's true. You can grip onto anything. I use them obviously for hex head bolts, but things like plumbing fittings that might be tight, like unions or slip fittings that might be really tight, you can get them loose with this. And I also, can grab onto a stripped screw head and turn out a screw head if, I don't have like specialty tool for that. These are great, must have. They're a little bit expensive, but they're definitely worth it.
I can tell you like it.
Good, man. You can't argue. Try them.
All right, so next up on my list is my label maker, which I keep in this little case. It has a spot for the label maker and a charger and extra rolls of tape. If you've watched any of our setup videos before, you know that I like to label a lot of things when we're doing setups. Kitchen cabinet interiors get labeled so that guests and cleaners know where things get put back and things stay nice and organized. We also like to label some kind of odd things around the house, like if there's a tricky light switch, a 3-way switch, or some of our cabinets are locked with magnet locks, so we will put a little don't pull label on those as well. For me, this is one of my indispensable tools for setups.
A little quick tip, get the plastic labels instead of the paper ones. They hold up a lot better. And we also only buy the Dymo brand. Found some of the cheap ones, they fade over time. Dymos are good, so spend a little money on the extra Dymo plastic labels.
It's not like gonna break the bank.
No, but like they are better quality. Last but not least, I use these WAGO wire connectors. Also a good German brand. These are something, I do a fair bit of electrical. Hanging light fixtures is the most common thing, that comes up in a home setup. These are quick, they're easy, they take the guesswork out of your connection. And especially with like cheap lights these days, they all come with stranded wire. And with a traditional wire nut, you're never quite sure if you got that stranded wire, captured there with the piece of Romex, the house wire that you're connecting it to. They're clear, so you can see that your wire made it all the way in there. Close the lever, that wire's in there, not going anywhere. These are great.
Wow! Wow! Wow!
That wraps up our list for must-have tools for any short-term rental property setup. If you have a favorite item that we didn't include in this list, leave us a comment below and tell us about it.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.